everyone, it's Lexi and Danika. We're here with SurfinBerms and today we're doing air filters.
Changing your air filter regularly is one of the easiest and most cost-effective ways to ensure your bike is running properly. Getting dirt and debris inside the engine is one of the most common reasons for engine failure, and that's why we use a filter.
All dirt bikes use a foam filter element. This traps all the dirt and debris and only lets clean air pass through it. This is why you want to clean and change your air filter regularly.
It's really important when you're changing your filter to keep everything very clean. Keep a close eye on the parts and the pieces that are coming off of the bikes and going onto them. You don't want to knock any dirt into the air box when you're servicing the filter.
We recommend when you're changing your air filter to do it in a garage where you're out of the wind and dusty conditions, just because you don't want any of that dirt going into the actual air box itself. If you do have to change it on the track and trail though, we recommend just having a oiled air filter pre-oiled in a Ziploc bag so it's ready to change and easy to install.
A common question we get asked is how often you should change your air filter. And it really depends on what type of riding you're doing and what type of riding conditions you're riding in. It's a really good idea to inspect your filter before you try it.
If you're riding in dusty conditions, you're going to have to change your air filter more frequently. A good indication of knowing when to change your air filter is when the filter starts to lose its color of the oil. You'll see dirt all over the exterior of the filter.
Another reason to change your air filter would be wet conditions. Whether you be riding in the rain or after you wash your bike, water can break down the filter oil and get through.
Finally, even if your bike has been sitting with a clean air filter, if it's been sitting for over a month, the oil can actually settle to the bottom of the filter. What you can do is take it off and actually rework the oil through the whole filter. You don't have to clean it again, but you do want to inspect it before you try.
So to get started, let's run through the supplies and tools that you'll need to service your air filter.
What you're going to need to get started is a clean air filter. You're going to want to make sure that it's dry. So this is why it's nice to have a spare air filter so you do have time for it to dry after cleaning it. Then you're going to need air filter oil. There's a couple different options out there of oil that you can get. A petroleum-based air filter oil, you're going to need a solvent like varsol to clean the filter, where a biodegradable air filter oil will have its own cleaning system to go with it. So we're going to be using the NoToil system today. You're going to need brake clean, paper towel, some rubber gloves, dish soap for soapy water, and then a bucket of water. We've laid out some filters to show the stages of the filters. This one here is a clean filter. This second filter is one that has a couple of rides on it. You still could get a couple of rides out of this one. This third one here is a filter that should be changed. If it went anywhere past this, it is definitely going to need changed. Okay, to start, we're going to oil the air filter. So grab your clean air filter and air filter oil. First, give this guy a shake because it likes to separate. And then bringing it to the air filter, it's easy to over oil the filter. So the technique I like using is polka dotting the whole filter. So just grab your bottle and tilt the filter into it and almost create these little polka dots all over the exterior of the filter. Okay, so the exterior is done, so we're going to do a bit on the inner gasket as well too. It's okay if it drips around because we're going to be working this oil through the whole filter afterwards. Okay, so then take that filter and then you're going to squeeze that oil all throughout and make sure it's evenly coated. So we want one consistent look across the whole filter. Then after it feels like it's totally worked in, just make sure to oil underneath these little gaskets because it likes to not get oil under there. And then work that underneath. We're ready to install the filter. Before installing your new clean air filter, we need to remove the dirty one. So doing that is pretty easy on the KTMs. You just unlatch the bottom here and pull the dirty air filter out. Just make sure no debris from the filter actually falls into the air box. Bring this guy over here. The air filter is on a cage, so we remove this dirty filter off just by unlatching it, holding the gasket on one end and popping it out. Take the dirty filter and just put it in a bag to clean after. Then we'll clean this cage so we can put the clean air filter onto it. Take a paper towel, place the cage in the paper towel and brake clean it out, just to get any debris out of the mesh. And then use that paper towel and clean the outer edges of the cage, removing any oil or dirt residue that it is left behind. Then just inspect that to make sure that you have no pieces or particles left in the cage itself. Everything looks good. We'll install the new filter onto the cage. Just let it dry a little bit from the brake clean. Installing the one end into the gasket, peeling the air filter around it. The next point through the gasket, making sure they're clipped in, and bringing the outer ring all around and latching it under the piece. Set that air filter aside. Before installing it, we need to clean out the air box. To clean the air box out, start with brake clean and a paper towel. You'll want to spray the brake clean directly to the paper towel and not into the air box, because that would push dirt inside of it if it was. So spray the brake clean on there and then move to the air box. Starting with the clean side of the paper towel, just wipe anything out that could be inside. And then clean around the outer gasket here where the filter will sit. And while doing this, you just want to make sure that no dirt gets pushed inside that air box. That looks good. And then just make sure nothing is down in the actual air box itself, and you're good to install. The final step is installing the filter into the bike. Take your clean filter on the cage, and we'll put it into the bike. So point up and you'll feel it click into its receptacle. It'll clip up and then latch the bottom on, and just make sure the filter is tucked in and there's no open gaps to let dirt or debris in. You're ready to go. Moving on to cleaning the air filter. This is going to be a 3-step process. So first we're going to start with the detergent. We're using the NoToil cleaner this time. So you're going to need a bucket of warm water and the detergent, about a 1/4 cup, you'll pour right into the bucket of water. And just creating a solution to break the oil and dirt out of the filter. Grab your dirty filter, insert it into the bucket, and this step is going to break away the oil and dirt from the filter. You can kind of squish it around and it'll start falling into the water and you'll feel it start breaking down. That will remove most of it, and make sure you get underneath the gaskets as well too when you wash it. Step 2, after we've rinsed the filter with the detergent, we've filled this bucket up with water and some dish soap. We're going to use this as a second stage to get these larger particles out of the filter that the first stage missed. So immerse the filter, get it sudsed up, and what this will do will push those particles out by using the foam of the soap to push the debris through the filter. This will be followed up by step 3, which will just be a rinse. The final step is rinsing the filter. So there's just a bit of soap still in the filter. We're gonna take the clean bucket of water, rinse this out, make sure there's no suds left in it. Give it a good squeeze and set that filter aside to dry. That's a full air filter service on your dirt bike. The last thing that you want to do is just make sure that clean air filter sits to completely dry, and then you can use that as your next filter to install on your bike. That's why it's handy to have an extra air filter on hand, just to make this process a little bit more efficient.
So, thanks for watching another video of us changing an air filter today. If you have any questions, comments, drop us a message, leave us a comment, and we'll see you next time.